Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're about to hop into our third game of this best-of-7 series. We recently saw Keen take the series 4-0 over Sting to win himself $3,000, a spot into the next TSL, and now we're moving on to the finals. Game 3, we're tied one game apiece. Daybreak's going to be the arena of battle. Sean, what do you think about this matchup going into it?
Well, ordinarily this is the map where we see a lot of turtling from both sides. We see the Ling's Roach style replaced by more passive Ling Infester, but we've seen Life start that drop research in both games. I'm really hoping we get to see that again. Some Ling Baneling drops can cause a lot of problems on this map because it's quite cramped spaces.
And, you know, especially when he's finding himself in positions where that Protoss army is out of position. I mean, Creator so far has had some great defense in his bases. Yeah. But here we are on Daybreak where, like you mentioned, it's another taffy map for the Protoss. They got to really stretch themselves. And Creator did a great job once he got to that point. Two groups definitely spread out, was denying those drops. So will we see that same level of performance here on Daybreak? Let's go ahead and get ourselves started. Map 3 coming up. Life brought it back in game number 2, Sean. Now Creator looking to regain his lead, but Life shown us that he can penetrate through that Kevlar vest of CreatorPrime. You mentioned that you thought he was only going to lose 2 maps in this final. Well, that was map number 1. We'll find out if a second one is in the cards.
Let's go ahead and introduce who is who on this map, starting in the bottom left position from Team StarTale with some amazingly creative Zerg play. It's StarTale Life.
Yeah. And in the northeast position, as the red Protoss, he only dropped 2 maps throughout the entire TSL competition, now up to 3. It is CreatorPrime.
Yeah. You know, in these spots, I'm always curious if there's going to be some sort of cutesy play coming up. Now that the series is tied 1-1, you can now think of it as game 1 of a best of 5 instead of a best of 7.
Sure.
It's an opportune time to do some crazy nightising, some crazy proxy gate in this matchup, all of which would be pretty reasonable, but, you know, that CreatorPrime's able to get the 71% win rate in this matchup, I wouldn't be surprised to see him return back to his Stalker Immortal Heavy mixture as his, really his baseline play.
Me neither. I mean, at this point, I don't think it would put him in any sort of distinct advantage to be going for anything like that. And he's shown, like, I mean, the last game definitely came down to a few engagements there, but I think it just, neither of them at a point where that would make a whole lot of sense. There, the Forge is going down. We're going to try a block on the hatchery here for CreatorPrime as Life comes out here with his drone. And, I mean, Sean, like, especially on Daybreak where, you know, a lot of players will play that respectful game where it's going to be, you're going to go 3 base, I'm going to open up with the fast expand, and that's just how it's going to go. And then what happens from that point, you know, will dictate the game. But there we have the hatchery gone down. Probe admits defeat there a little bit. Now the Overlord coming in to check that the Nexus is down and sees the Protoss completing as well.
You know, I like this Overlord, the second Overlord for Life, moving up to the 3rd base. Very often we'll see that head up to one of these north positions where there's a little overhang where the Overlords can hang out, or just generally move more aggressively, but it looks like Life giving a lot of respect to Creator, going, yeah, you know what? I know you're a standard player, but I'm just gonna check those side angles. Right now is the time when Life really makes the decision if he wants to go for the 3rd base and play standard or take the gas. He takes the 3rd base. So, Marcus, it's time for the PvZ that we all know and love. 3 base versus 2.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And you know, we've seen so many pros tackle this in different ways. We've seen the Zerg come out on top. In some cases, we've seen that ultra-aggressive Protoss come out on top as well. So, you know, the story has certainly not been told yet. Overlord does have a spot on that front, sees the gateway is about to finish up. But, you know, the other thing to ask, will we see Creator once again for the 3rd game in a row go for some sort of Stargate play? We do now have the Cybernetics core going down, and these 2 Lings are making their way over with the cannon up and now the Pro blocking the front. Creator is not going to let any damn Zerglings into his base in the opening moments of this game.
Damn it, no, Marcus, he's not. But I will say, this placement's a little bit awkward for CreatorPrime. If he sees Zerglings coming, he has to build a wall off on the in front of the probe as opposed to behind the probe. You'll notice that cannon perfectly botches things. Or does it? Maybe I'm mislooking. Maybe there actually is 2 hexes there. Marcus, ignore me.
I think there might be. Still tight as the Zerglings are just outside, and the Zealot is done. So again, life is just droning up, having dropped that 3rd base. And what is going to be coming next? There it is, the Stargate going down for CreatorPrime, 3 games in a row.
Ooh, Creator really needs to get this one Zergling, or excuse me, this one probe. Damn it, this one probe, he needs to get it to the 3rd. Will he get there? No, he has no idea that the 3rd base is down, and given that life has done some big variety, he's going to need to rush to that scout ASAP.
Yeah, he really is going to need to. He's, in fact, already another probe is being sent out. Will those Zerglings be able to find him again? This time going around the vision. But we have just the first gas, the second gas, yes, 1 at the natural, 1 at the main. And then this pretty standard is what life did in the previous game as well. But there's those Zerglings coming out right now to try to deny and keep that space in front of his opponents. Main and natural occupied, and that probe is going out. You've got to be careful. He's going to go into the line of sight of those Zerglings. He's going to make it. He's going to make it, Sean.
Oh, he's got this. He's going to see it. He sees the creep spread. That's one of those, because if not, there's an all-in about to hit the front door, so thank goodness for that. And you know, a lot of players say you have to open up for Stargate or Robo just to be able to shoot down this Overlord. Too difficult to deal with a Zerg player otherwise. Life now continuing to spread out, getting these sort of unusual timings on his gas. So he's going to have 4 geysers quite early on. Looks like he is yet again going for this Ling Infestor style. Yep, there's the 2 Evo chambers. He is banking on the lack of gateway pressure from his opponent.
I mean, it really seems like it works out quite good if he can get it to the later game. Feel like it can be very susceptible maybe to some early game pressure, but so far he's been using these Lings early on to just kind of, the Void Ray inside the main, immediately 2 Queens going at it, does only lose its shields, stays alive with the whole damage, but the Zergling just saving space right now, preventing the Protoss from moving out, especially in a Stargate situation. Like, it works, but you know, what would happen if this was a massive, massive gateway attack? And here Zergling comes up. It's taken out, but big Zergling counterattack. This is not good.
No! Oh my god, Marcus, he's lost 1-2. Is he going to lose Sentry 3? Yes, and the Stalker. This is why people are leery of getting too much air units, and it looks like Creator has all his air units spread around. No. He's going to lose another Sentry! Oh my god, this is as disastrous an opening situation as could be. There are no units on the map right now that Protoss can really do anything with.
Just absolutely crushing there for CreatorPrime. I mean, he moved out just a little bit too soon. That Zealot that Zergling was spotted. And now we have the Air Force moving over to 3rd, but the spores are down, the Queen count is high, and he is kind of stuck with nothing in his main and nowhere really to go. We have more spores being thrown down, and this is not a great situation for Creator, having lost all those units. And, you know, the resources lost tab tells the tale, about 500 different here for Protoss to the Zerg, and another huge, huge Zergling swell heading over to Creator's main.
There's really 2 options you have at this point in Creator's position. One, you just decide, you know what, I guess I'm not going to make a mid-game push. I'm going to expand, turtle, try to get maxed, and then push there. That'll be the equalizer. Or, I go for some huge aggressive 2-base play, and look at this, Creator already lifting these Queens, picking off Overlords with the Phoenixes, decides that, yeah, I'm going to be able to do enough damage that way. You see the Robo Bay down? Colossus now started. Is he also going to go for a 3rd in the midst of this? It looks like he may very well do that, so it is going to be turtle mode.
Yeah, he also, well, I mean, Life lost all those Zerglings there as well. He's sending even more out. They're all getting spotted by these Phoenixes, and the Phoenix did manage to find that hole right there in between the natural and the 3rd, where there's also a lack of creep. This little bit of Zerglings heading out, but with the amount of Zealots in here, he did not kill any Zealots on that last attack. he does manage to kick it back while his opponent takes his 4th base. So we're definitely going on to stage 2 of this game, if you will. Macro Hatch is being thrown down by Life. His income's looking really good with 71 harvesters right now. And when he has that 5th hatchery up, his unit production is going to be really nice. Oh, there we see the fungal coming out. He does lift up one of the infestors. He is going to lose at least one here, but he should be able to grab all of these. Oh, he's going to have to throw down a double fungal. Yeah.
Well, there's one key piece that I think Life is missing in this spot. Creator is doing everything correct under the assumption that his opponent is going for Ling Infester. Look at this mix from Creator. Zealot, small number of Void Rays, and Colossus without range. I mean, oh no, Zergling's going to be able to run up. No, will they go for the Colossus? Barely, no. If Life did all that damage, killing off those sentries, and then just built a Roach Warren and went for an attack, this 3rd would not be here, Marcus.
I think you're right. Absolutely. And he's pretty much allowed Creator to sort of, I guess, rebuild himself, if you will. But there's a big group moving out to that 3rd again. He's so ready for this with the 2 Colossus. Now, I mean, having the lack of sentries and force fields really sucks, but the mobility of Zergling is going to allow him to poke at several different angles here. And this 3rd is going to be under contention here momentarily.
And Life now moving up with his Infestors. This is going to be a little dangerous. There is no range on those Colossus, and there are no force fields, so he won't really run the risk of getting them trapped. But, again, I like this play from Life consistently getting the Warp Prism up. He's basically saying, you know what, this Infestor Ling army, it's not good at dealing with someone who's in a lot of places at once. Sure, the Zerglings are fast, but they're just so bad against Zealots that I'm going to keep you pinned back on defense while I build up the army I need.
Well, and with the Roach Warren just now finishing up, or his Roach Speed just finishing up, the Spire's done. Do we have any Corruptors out yet? The answer is no, but we have 12 on the way. Okay, there we go. So, certainly the next piece of the puzzle they need to kind of throw in there. Oh, this Warp Prism's going to try to sneak past. The Zergling does see it, but the Festers, I don't think that they can respond quickly enough. And that could be an opportunity. Oh, the whole army is going to move back. So
it's going to be up to these Corruptors. It looks like the Warp Prism is sneaking along the south side. Where are the Corruptors? Oh, it looks like Creator pulls back, but so does Life. Life's actually deciding that now's the time to strike. He has the army he needs. Loses a lot of Zerglings right there at the front. Is that Warp Prism going to kick into action at any time? Looks like not quite going to start to step forward. And there's the big fungal growth. He instantly is going to be able to nab off the Void Ray. Down goes one Colossus. Colossus 2 and 3 not short behind. And instantly Life just destroys the front. CreatorPrime is just getting wrecked, Marcus.
Yeah, he is. I mean, all the Colossus are down now. The Infested Terran's life is about up, and he has no sort of follow-up to this attack, per se. He's sitting on a lot of Corruptors. There's just a few Roaches and Zerglings here, and he doesn't want to necessarily just jump into that fray, but here comes so many Zerglings. Now that the Colossus are done, that's exactly what he needs to throw this game into his absolute and complete favor, and here he is going for it. Meanwhile, Hive is finishing up. A second Spire's on the way, and there's the big push.
No corruptions yet, but a lot of infested Terrans and a lot of Lings. There's the corruption going down. All those Stalkers now taking bonus damage. It looks like Creator is barely going to be able to stay alive as long as he micros his heart out. A couple Zealots at the front. Creator still morphing in more Blink Stalkers. We see that the Immortal is almost out, almost at the front lines, and Creator has managed to barely stay alive again.
Wow. It's really impressive. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he lost no workers. He almost lost the gateway. He certainly lost quite a few units, and granted, the Colossus itself was a big loss, but there's not an additional base here for the Zerg. He is now with another base and a few more gases. There's the Warp Prism going in. Oh, a great fungal, and the Spore Crawler will finish it off.
Yuck.
And that would have been a great way for Creator to kind of put his foot into the door, but here we go, moving out. Pretty soon, Broodlords are going to be coming into the equation as well, but right now it's just a bunch of Corruptors. Is he going to go in for the attack?
Well, this is the scary mode Creator that everyone knows. He has the Immortals in the front. He has a lot of Blink Stalkers. He's not going to be rebuilding the Colossus. He's just going to be going for the mass blink stalker mode, but this Zergling heavy with some Roaches mixture appears to be exactly the recipe to destroy the stalker heavy force. More zealots coming in for Creator, who's trying to get into a good position. He's essentially going immortal, stalker, zealot, and it's still not quite enough. There's just too much blue on the map.
Yeah, it is not enough. And, you know, with potentially Broodlords coming in, did he finish his Spire or Greater Spire? No, he hasn't. Okay, there it is. It's starting to morph right now. So, a few Roaches just sneaking in. But I think you're right. I mean, as long as he can keep the fungals going, he has identified that there's no going to be more Colossus, so Adrenal Glands is going to be going down. And here we have another engagement. Again, some very, very big fungals, but the ground force is looking much thinner this time for the Zerg, and it is not going to be enough for another final push, and he's going to have to retreat backwards. In fact, there's an offensive blink forward. Will he lose any infestors? Maybe one.
Oh, is he going to go for a second follow-up blink?
Yeah.
He is! Oh, man, all the infestors falling. Wait a minute, is Creator really going to pull this off? Where are the units located for life?
I think he might have waited too long to get that Greater Spire going. He's got a lot of Zerglings and Roaches coming out here, and he's sitting on so much gas right now, almost 1,700 to this almost just exclusive gateway army here of CreatorPrime. The Colossus would be huge right now, but just look at the production tab for CreatorPrime, like hardly anything coming out.
God, it's just going to be this usual Stalker to Mortal mixture that's so potent. We see the Roaches sacrificing their lives with no problem whatsoever because look at that production tab, Marcus.
Yeah.
12. Oh my God, 12 Broodlords in production right now.
Yeah, and that's really, really scary considering what Creator has in order to even fight with it. Which is nothing at this point. I don't know what he does. I mean, right now, he does not have a fourth base. He's in no position to take one. Zergling burrowed at that potential fourth. And again, the defense of something like that would just be almost impossible. If one fungal lands here on this army and he catches them with the Broodlord, you just see nothing but a GG.
And look at the infestor count. Wow, 7 already. Oh, Marcus. This is going to be an extremely difficult fight for CreatorPrime. He only has basic gateway units. He tries to blink, gets nabbed a second fungal, and that is going to be all she wrote once those Broodlings start stepping in. GG.
GG. Oh yeah, that was very, very nicely done by Life. Very nicely done. Good.
I mean, to note, this is the first time the entire tournament that CreatorPrime has been down in a series. He's always had the lead in games in every single match.
Oh, you're right. And there it is. 2-1. And ST Life takes the lead in this competition going into the next map, which is going to be Antigua Shipyard. Life takes it down on Daybreak. And I'll tell you what, if he can somehow pull off this next one, the tables have been turned. The liquid bets are going to be going absolutely insane, and you can't change your answer now.
But keep in mind, Marcus,
yes,
the real reason we saw those losses from Creator were flubs on his part, losing all those units when he went to go take his third. The timing was certainly nice by Life, but if Creator plays a little bit slower, takes a few less risks, I think that he's going to be in excellent position to tie the series up in Game 4.
All right, Game 4 coming up. First, a quick break. When we return, talk a little bit about it. It's going to be Antigua Shipyard for map number 4. ST Life has the lead. Stick around. We'll be right back.